A new patch for No Man's Sky's waypoint update is in the works. This is really cool, really nice. It is currently being tested on the experimental branch of Steam. I'm Controlled Chaos. I'm going to go over some of the things that are in this patch. There are some amazing things, by the way, so listen up, guys. First off, a new difficulty setting has been added which allows players to lock themselves out of further difficulty setting changes. Once enabled, this action is permanent. This is really nice addition. It helps for those players that don't want to have the ability to keep changing or have that urge to change the settings and stuff like that. This hits that even ground, letting players who want to keep changing things around can, and players who don't and want that difficulty setting constantly there, even though they're getting frustrated, to have that set that way is nice. This just feels good. I like this. Next, strengthened ship specialization bonuses have been increased. So higher grade ships receive greater inherent bonuses to their stats. This scales steeply with both class and ship specializations, so that the explorer ship can have a significant further warp range, as well as damage, shields, and warp bonuses. Starships now also have an inherent agility based stat, which benefits all maneuverability upgrades in the same way as other specialization stats affecting their relevant upgrades. This is nice. I really can't wait for this one to come out. I like having highly maneuverable ships at times. I like being able to do really sharp turns and cool maneuvers. This will add to it. I like that they're adding agility stats to the ships. This is cool. I can't wait to play with this one. Anyways, going on. Next, we have stat bonuses on procedural jetpack upgrades have been increased. Stat bonuses on procedural hazard protection upgrades have been increased. Stat bonuses on procedural pulse engine upgrades have been increased. Stat bonuses on hyperdrive upgrades have been increased. So they're increasing a lot of the stats on the modules we get, and this is going to be interesting. This increases the effectiveness. So that whole entire thing of, oh, we can't have so many upgrades on our jetpacks or our hazard protections or our pulse engines or our hyperdrives like we used to. They're solving that problem in the way of increasing the stats on those. So it's going to balance that out a bit more, solving that problem that some people have been complaining about, not being able to slot 6 upgrades on them. And that's really nice. That's a fair way of doing things. That's a way of saying, oh, we made a mistake here. We need to fix this. We need to make this a bit better. And that's the great thing about Hello Games, is they actually do that. They actually listen to what you say. It just takes them time. It's not a click of a button type thing. You can't just sit there and go, oh, I want this to be better. Boom, done. No, they have to go in and code this stuff. They have to go in and change this stuff. A lot of people think that making games is easy and that it's all fun. It's not. Trust me, it's not. I have so many people that I've worked with and that I've interviewed for jobs that think that it's all fun and games. I mean, I get to do really great stuff when there's a lot of grunt work done in the background of working in spreadsheets, working on the very boring, mundane stuff, such as walk cycles and UV mapping and doing things like, let's say, skinning and rigging. I don't like skinning and rigging much, but I still do it. Why? Because it needs to get done. They're taking their time and working on this kind of stuff. Next, drop rates on spawn sacks retrieved by living frigates from fleet expeditions has been increased. So those spawn stacks that you get to increase your living ships has been increased. You'll be able to get more of those to easily and quicker upgrade your living ships with the last update that increased the capabilities of what living ships can do. That's going to be really cool. Significantly reduced the likelihood of incoming damage to break a piece of technology while the exosuit shields are charged. This is nice. This needs to be done because it sort of sucks that you take a lot of damage and then all of a sudden something breaks even though your shields are have a good charge to them. I like the idea that it happens more often when your shields are down. That makes a lot of sense. I like the idea that they're looking at well, there's a chance that some damage can get through the shields type idea, and they want to keep that in there. And so they're just decreasing the likelihood of that happening, which is really good idea. Now, let's move on and continue on. Next, we have fixed a number of issues where different pop-ups would take the same scrolling input. This is interesting. This is nice. I never liked pop-ups. I never liked Z fighting. And doing that, working on that kind of stuff really personally interests me, especially Z fighting. I do everything to fight having Z fighting happening. What Z fighting happening is it's two models connected together where they have a texture overlapping one another, and that texture is fighting to show. So it will flicker and things like that. And so working to fix that issue is just adjusting the models. And that takes some finessing and some work. It can be hard at times and difficult, but that's where the fun is in trying to fix that. Next up is fixed an issue that caused critical damage hazard protection to appear to become recharged and functional when sitting in a starship. That's a good fix. I like that fix because that makes you think, oh, well, it's fixed. And then you jump out of your ship and then, oh, it's not. Oh, crap, I'm in trouble. This is a good fix to keep that notification up when you're in your ship. So you know, oh, I need to go and repair this while I'm safe so I don't take hazardous damage when I jump out of my ship. Next up, hazardous protection now notes on the HUD when it is critically damaged. This is really, really good. This lets us know, oh, I can't just refuel this and it will work. It now lets you know I need to fix this, then if need be, refuel this for it to work. This is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting to play with these mechanics, especially when you do those permadeath really hard modes. That's a big challenge there. And so having this and letting you know about this will really help out. Then we have when reporting a base, the owner's name is now more clearly displayed in the UI. That's good because I've had times, especially with my eye disability, of being able to see the name of the owner of the base. So I personally love this fix. Anything that fixes an issue where people with disabilities have trouble doing something, I am all for. I like it, especially those companies that make modified controllers for people with disabilities. I love those types of companies. Yeah, they're not going to sell as much, there aren't as many people, but it brings them in, it includes them, and I am all about including people. I like when people are included into things. It's just, it makes for a more friendlier player base and more helpful, and that's what they're doing here, is they're making it more helpful to players. Now we have fixed an issue that caused missions to fail to recognize when exocraft technology was correctly charged. This is interesting. I didn't know that was there. I hadn't experienced that, but they fixed it and that's good. Now, they fixed an issue that caused some items, such as projectile animations, to build the wrong amount when first crafted. I don't know if it was a less amount or a more amount. I hadn't been paying attention to that. I haven't had to make ammo in a long time, because when I make ammo, I make a boatload of it. I'm one of those people that when I'm in the combat mood, I just go all out. So I make a bunch of ammo, and so I don't have to worry about running out of ammo. Next is fixed an issue that allowed players to salvage their only operational starship. If you're in the early stages of the game, or you just spent all of your money and you're stuck on a space station and you don't have the money to buy another starship, then you're stuck on that station and you have to teleport out. So this just makes it a bit easier so that you're not stuck in those sticky situations. Just like if you start off a new game, you get in there and you get to the space station and then you sell your first ship. Because you haven't gotten the teleporter, you haven't gone to other solar systems or anything like that, you're stuck on that space station, and then you're permanently stuck, and the only choice you have is to start a new game. And that is considered a Sev 2 bug, because that is a blocking issue. So fixing this is a good fix. This is a required fix. No good developer likes blocking bugs. They hate them with a passion. And I know Hello Games is one of those developers that hates blocking bugs. They hate crashing bugs. And the reason why is they know it negatively affects us, the players. That's why I like this fix. Now they fixed an issue that could strand players on the space station if they managed to dock with broken pulse engines. Once again, this is a Sev 2 blocking bug. They're fixing it. That's great. You'll no longer get stuck on space stations. It's a bummer that this thing happens, but when you're coding and you have so much code, sometimes it's not the code that you write for what you're working on that causes the problem. Sometimes it's conflicting with another part of the code, and that's what's causing the issue. So programmers on games really have a tough time on figuring out exactly what's causing the issue, and can be really hard for them to fix, especially for a small team who probably don't have their own internal test team. And that's where they rely on us. That's where you need to jump in and you need to plan on the experimental build to test these things out, to help them, and then go to their website, go onto the Zendesk, and report that the issue is still happening. That way they know, oh, we still need to work on this. They're so busy working and fixing things that they don't have much time to fully go through and test everything the way they'd like to. And that's where we fall in helping them out. Plus, it also gives you, the player, the chance to go and see these changes in effect. Go and see these new things that they're adding into the game and give you a sneak peek. So it's a bonus for both sides. Hello Games is getting the help that they need in finding out if these fixes work, and we're getting the chance to see some of this new stuff that they're putting in the game that we all love. So it's a win-win in this kind of situation. Then they also added in a fix of an issue that could leave some players floating in space when reloading a saved game. That would be freaky. I've never had that happen to me, but if I did have it happen, at first I'd be like, oh, this is cool. And then if I couldn't move around and get myself back to a space station, I would be freaking out. Or if I couldn't get to there in time, like, you're running out of oxygen and you're low on oxygen and you just can't thrust quick enough to the space station. That would be a freaky situation. I think I might have to do a video doing that at some point in time. Just have like low oxygen, a good distance away from the space station, and see if I can make it back to the space station time. I think that would be fun. That'd be interesting. Fun little things like that. But I'd cause that to happen myself. I wouldn't want that to happen as a bug because that would just frustrate me. So then we move on and we have that they fixed an issue that prevented players with very large inventories from seeing all of their items when transferring to another inventory, such as storage containers. This is good. I would be upset. I would freak out if I spent all this time gathering these resources and then they disappear. That would upset me. And I see why you guys are getting upset on situations like this. So if you are upset about things like this, like I said, go on to the experimental build on the Steam and try this out. See if the issue is fixed for you. See that they are actually working on these things and that they are trying to fix these bugs for us. Just seeing that they're trying to fix these things, hopefully, for those of you that are upset, these fixes are helping you calm down. And even if it's not the fix you want, notice that they're trying to do something to listen to what you're saying, but not ignore the other players that like what was put in. And that they're trying to do the best that they can. They don't want to upset anyone, but they also want to do things that will make the game better. And they're doing what they can. Next is they fixed an issue that could cause some newly acquired inventory items to be visibly missing from the main inventory. Once again, this goes in with that other bug. So that's a good fix there. The starting slots difficulty saying now adds additional inventory slots as well as additional companion and squadron slots. This is an interesting one. So now if you do these your settings, they give you more inventory slots at the start. This is really, really cool. I'm going to play around with it. It probably not going to be my main play mode because I like difficult games. I find difficult games fun. I am going to be going in and creating one. Every setting is set to the hardest it could possibly be and do a playthrough that way. That's the way I like to play. But then there are times where I just want to sit back. I want to relax. I want to explore. I want to just view the galaxy and see what's out there. So I'm going to have another save where everything is set to the easiest setting possible for my relax mode. And I'm literally naming those saves that way. I'm naming one relaxed mode. I'm naming one the most difficult mode. And that way I will be able to, based on the mood I'm in, be able to play those different modes. And that will be cool. Now, they also fixed the visual quality of stars have been improved using TAA and FSR 2.0. That's cool. Enhancing technology, always good, for rendering of particle effects, things like that. Speaking of that, they also, the visual effects on the final Atlas station and Artemis Path have been improved. That's cool. Fixed a network matching issue. So network coding is some of the most hardest coding to do. And the fact that they went through and they made some fixes to make the matchmaking work better is great. I like that. Then they fixed an Xbox Series S and X crash related to the file system. They fixed a PlayStation 5 crash. They fixed an inventory related crash that could occur when loading the game. Really good. I hate crashes when you load the game and then it just crashes. Fixed a memory related crash on the PlayStation 5. Fixed a crash related to the recipe page within the informational portal. The crash fixes are great. They're sometimes the hardest ones to find, especially memory related crashes. Memory leaks can be so tricky to find and fix. They can be so daunting. It's just really interesting that they go through and they fixed so many of these crashes. Now, there's a reason why they're fixing so many of these crashes. Crashes are a Sev 1 issue. And when you have, especially these consoles like the Xbox and the PlayStation, when you have a crash, you're immediately kicked out of certification, which means that your game will not get released onto the console. And it costs them $10,000 every time they go into certification. So them fixing this kind of stuff is good because it's costing them less money. It's also going to make us, the players, happy because we're not going to be frustrated with all these crashes. And that's really nice. So that's everything that is in this update. There may be more added later on, but like I said, go in there, go on to the experimental branch on Steam, test this stuff out, report those bugs. I hope you found this helpful. I hope there was some stuff in here that you're looking for, that interests you, that you're excited for. If so, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on what fix you're looking forward to the most. If there's none in there that interests you the most, explain what kind of fix you'd like to see down in the comments below. And then also, as usual, report it to Hello Games. Have a great day.